You ever have that feeling that you're just off? Like you're constantly running on a low battery, just trying to get through a world that seems to demand more and more from you every single day? Well, if you've ever felt that low-grade hum of stress or that exhaustion that just won't quit, you are definitely not alone. And it turns out, there might be a really good reason for it, a reason that goes a lot deeper than you might think.
I mean, does this feel familiar? That constant state of being pulled, of having your attention and your energy just shatter between work and family and social stuff, and, of course, the endless fire hose of information coming at you 24/7? It's kind of the signature move of modern life, isn't it? And all that pressure, it usually shows up in our bodies in some pretty familiar ways, like that anxiety that just pops up from nowhere, or a fatigue that no amount of sleep can seem to fix. Maybe for you it's digestive issues, or just zero motivation, or maybe just that feeling of being completely emotionally overwhelmed by it all. But here's the thing I really want you to hear. These feelings, they are not just in your head. They are a very real, and honestly, a very shared experience for so many of us.
Okay, but how we deal with all this is often a huge part of the problem. It kind of feels like we're always fighting the wrong battles. Let me show you exactly what I mean.
So what's our usual response? We basically play a game of whack-a-mole with our health, right? We take something for the anxiety. We try a new diet for our digestion. We search for productivity hacks to fix the low motivation. We're tackling each symptom as if it's living in its own little isolated bubble. But what if they're not separate problems at all?
So let's just try to paint a completely new picture here. What if we stop seeing all these things as a bunch of different problems, and we start thinking of them as echoes of a single unified signal that's coming from your body? You see, this completely reframes everything. The old story was that all these issues were separate things to solve, but the deeper truth, it's that they are all connected. The anxiety, the fatigue, the gut issues, they're all just signs of a single underlying state, a dysregulated system.
In that dysregulated state, it actually has a name. It's called survival mode. This is when your body goes into high alert. It thinks there are threats everywhere. And hey, that threat could be a work deadline, a tough conversation, or just the constant rush of life. And it diverts all its precious resources away from things like rest, digestion, and healing to focus purely on surviving.
And that is the absolute key right there. The stress we're all feeling isn't just some abstract idea or a mood. No, it becomes this physical force that actually finds a home inside of us. It literally settles in the body.
So where does it settle? Well, it takes root in our most core systems. It messes with our nervous system, keeping it on constant high alert. It totally disrupts the delicate balance of our gut, and it blocks our natural flow of energy, which is why we're left feeling so drained.
Now, when all this stress goes unnoticed, the body doesn't just give up. It starts trying to get our attention. And if we don't listen, the volume just gets louder and louder. And that progression usually looks something like this. It starts as whisper. Maybe just some subtle tension in your shoulders or a general feeling of low energy. If we ignore that, it becomes a talk. Now you're having trouble sleeping or your digestion is all over the place. And if that's still ignored, it becomes a shout. We're talking full-blown anxiety, chronic fatigue, or just complete emotional overwhelm.
So the goal isn't just to silence the shout. The real work, the real game changer, is learning a new way to listen. It's about fundamentally shifting our perspective on what our body is actually trying to do.
And if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. Modern life keeps the body in survival mode, not healing mode. We are living in a way that constantly forces us to prioritize detecting threats over resting and repairing, and our bodies are the ones paying the price. Thinking this way changes everything about how we see our struggles, doesn't it? Your symptoms, they're not the enemy. They aren't problems that you need to defeat or silence. They're messengers, and they're carrying vital information from a body that is desperately trying to get your attention and guide you back toward healing. Which leaves us with one final, really powerful question to think about. If you actually listen really closely, past all the noise of daily life, what is your body trying to tell you?